You're watching HacknDash, and this is your Switch 2 news for the last 2 weeks. Apologies for no episode last week, I was feeling super under the weather. Now let's start with the game releases. On October 23rd, Persona 3 Reload came out. The physical came out on the 28th of October in Australia. The Switch 2 version scored a decent 79 on Metacritic. I picked this one up as I prefer to play RPGs handheld, but a lot of people are unhappy with the performance as the game only runs at 30 FPS. This kinda stings a bit as Atlus have admitted to rushing out the Switch 2 port before the end of the year. Also worth noting, the physical release is a game keycard. On October 28th, 2 Point Museum Explorer Edition released. I've never played any of these games, but they seem to have a dedicated fan base. The Switch 2 version of 2 Point Museum received an 83 on Metacritic. Just a heads up, the physical version of this one is a keycard. On October 30th, Luigi's Mansion finally released to the GameCube Classics library. There's not really any new reviews for this game as it's not really a port or remaster, it's just being emulated on the Switch 2. But, for reference, the original GameCube version has a 78 on Metacritic. And now that Luigi's Mansion 1 is on the Switch 2, every Luigi's Mansion game is now available on the Switch 2 console. Today, on October 31st, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake released for the Switch 1 and Switch 2 consoles. This bad boy released to a respectable 86 on Metacritic. It's worth noting that the physical version of this game on Switch 2 is a game keycard. The Switch 1 version is on a full cartridge, but won't have the performance and visual upgrades of the Switch 2 version. Square Enix have also advised that the Switch 1 copy will not have an upgrade path to the Switch 2 edition. Now on to the regular news. There was a second Kirby Air Riders Direct on the 23rd of October. I didn't watch this one as the first Direct went super in-depth, and I wanted some things to remain a surprise. I didn't hear about many new things regardless, besides some more amiibo being announced. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition has been delayed to a 2026 release, which was honestly expected after the reporting on poor performance at different gaming expos. The Switch 2 is more powerful than a PS4, closer to an Xbox Series S in power. If they're going to release this on Switch 2, it needs to have a stable 30 FPS frame rate, or it will hinder the experience of anyone playing this amazing game for the first time. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition has been announced for the Switch 2 for a 2026 release. I was honestly expecting a Fallout 4 port for the Switch 1 for years, so seeing it come to the Switch 2 is going to be nice. I'll be picking this one up as I never actually finished Fallout 4. It was rumoured in previous weeks, but Assassin's Creed Shadows has been officially announced for the Switch 2. This one is going to be releasing on the 2nd of December 2025. The System Shock 1 remake has been announced for Switch 2, and it will be on a full cartridge. Very nice to see. Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader was announced for Switch 2. This is an isometric RPG set in the Warhammer 40k universe, obviously. They came out in 2023 for other platforms. Bluey's Quest for the Gold Pen was announced for the Switch 2. Not that kids will probably care, but the game is going to be on a full cartridge. The Resident Evil Generation Pack was announced for Switch 2, which will have RE7, RE Village, and RE Requiem. All 3 games will be game keycards. It looks like Australia isn't getting this one, so I've pre-ordered an import from Amazon US for this for about 175 AUD after shipping. A Resident Evil Requiem Pro Controller was announced for the Switch 2, and it looks a bit bad. An amiibo was also announced for Grace Ashcroft, the main protagonist of Requiem, but this hasn't been shown off just yet. Animal Crossing New Horizons Switch 2 Edition was announced for January 15th, 2026. I've never actually played an Animal Crossing game before, so I'm keen to pick this one up and finally see what all the fuss is about. I'm considering making a video on my initial impressions of the game as well. Physical versions of the Binding of Isaac Repentance Plus, Pastry Panic, and Order Up were announced for Switch 2, and they will be actual game cards. And that's it for this supersized episode of Switch 2 News. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing week ahead, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.